welcome in everybody. It's so nice to see you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry before Christmas. Hi. Welcome in. So cozy. Yeah. I hope you like it. I spent a while picking out the perfect room. I broke into all the houses in my neighborhood. I picked the perfect one. Just for this stream. You gotta make sure you break and enter into the right places, you know what I mean? Hi everybody, welcome. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. What day of the week is it? Tuesday? Christmas Eve? Very exciting. Let me know how the audio levels are if you want me to turn anything up or down. Like the fire or the music or anything. My posture is, I would give it an 8 out of 10. Pretty good. Audio seems to be good. Okay, great. You sound like your dentist? Say ah. Let me put my fist in your mouth. Sorry, wait. Cozy stream, my bad. Whoops, what? Wait, does your dentist not say that to you? Should I look for a different dentist? Should I be looking for a different dentist, huh? Every time I go to the dentist, they're like, Sleepy, open up. Woke genuinely. He's just using slang, bro. He's just using slang. Why a fist? Why not? You know what I mean? But yeah, welcome in everybody. Today we are doing our very cozy Christmas time reading story stream. As you can see, I have obtained the Christmas book. It's in my hand. And the Christmas book, I don't feel cozy. I could knock you out. Put you to sleep for real. Snug maxing right now. But yes, I have obtained the Christmas book that has the Christmas in it. All of the Christmas. And today we'll be reading the Christmas. I have prepared 3 stories. 3 very classic Christmas stories, I would say. To read for you today, and stream will be however long it takes me to read those 3 stories. I do not know how long that will be. I'm really bad at judging how long it takes to read things. So, yeah. Also, yeah, it is late. It's very late for my streams. For my streams, it's very late. Usually I stream in the morning. So I'm a little bit, I would say, lower energy right now. I'm definitely a lot higher energy in the mornings, but I'm still excited to be here and excited to do cozy time, reading time, coziness forever. Nods my head. I need to stop spending time with Olympia Love. Oh God, she's infecting me. For me, it's 5 p.m. Me as well. For me, it's 12 a.m. Okay, maybe I can help you fall asleep then. It's time for bed. Also, let me say hi. I want to say hi to everybody who's here. Hello, Ginger. Welcome in. Welcome. Hello, Nick. Welcome in. Hi, Booga. Hello, College. Welcome. Hello, Stranger. Welcome. Hello, Excaliburs. Welcome. Hello, Dimitri, welcome in. Hello, Mitch, welcome. Hello, Grand. And Six of Spades, welcome in. I think that's it. Nods my head. Oh, it's toes to you. Okay, my bad. You don't come here very often. It's rare to see your face around these parts, brother. It's been a while since I've caught a sleepy stream. Hi, MyCam. Welcome in. Welcome. I've missed ya. How have you been? I know I haven't streamed in the evening in so long. I used to stream at the very beginning. If you're an OG, you may remember. I used to stream at like 7 p.m. EST. I think that was the time that I started off doing. And then I realized that I'm just like not entertaining when I'm tired. Well, I'm tired all the time, but I'm not entertaining when I'm like super duper tired, you know what I mean? So I started streaming in the morning, and I like it a lot better. So that's what I usually do, but maybe I'll mix in a few later streams here and there. It's, you know, I feel like I don't want to encroach on anybody in Solar's streaming time. You know, I want to let everybody shine on their own, so we'll see. It's also been a while since I've caught a sleepy stream. Well, welcome back. I'm happy to have you. For to drink today, I have water, of course. I also have leftover ice. You hear that? Leftover ice and some watery cherry cock. And then I also have strawberry green tea with raw honey. Oh yeah, brother. Hell yeah, brother. So I'm gonna be sipping this while I stream. Delicious. I put too much honey in it. It's really sweet. But that's okay. That's okay. I was very close to bringing a candle into my room and lighting it just for the vibes. But I didn't. 1 a.m. is peak streaming. God, I'm not even awake at 1 a.m. I have grandma's sleep schedule. I genuinely go to sleep at like 10:30. I'm not gamer sleep schedule. I'm grandma. Kind of a gilf though. Streaming at like 1 a.m. to 0 viewers is a vibe. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Of course you love cherry cock. I love cherry cock. Spoon. Yeah, it's delicious. It's better than regular cock. Much better. It has cherry. Speaking of cherry, cherry is one of my favorite scents right now. Just random fact. If you know me, you know that I love perfume and fragrance. And cherry is one of my faves. Like a cherry vanilla. Oh yeah, baby. Sign me up. Gilf gamer. Gilf where? Gilf's in your area. It's me. Sleepy Sheepy the Gilf. What if I told you guys that the whole time you thought I was 21 years old, I've actually been 60... seven. What if I've been 67 the whole time? Ugh, old scare. Next to the fireplace. Me? It's a gilf in the fireplace. You have to go catch her. Hurry. She went up the chimney. Would you consider Santa Claus to be a gilf? Because this could also include grandfather, right? So like, I feel like if you were given the opportunity to fuck Santa Claus, would you? I saw sleeper agents kissing Santa Claus. You look -3. Hello? -3 inches deep in your mom. I just came up with that one on my own, guys. That was pretty good, right? She's the Omega Gilf. True. True. Santa is a Jom? Jolly old man? What the hell? I want to be a Jom. Jolly old manslaughter. Joe Milf. Joe Milfa. Joe Milfa. Okay. I double it and give it to the next person. Okay. Okay, bro. This ain't one of them TikTok videos. Guys, did you know that I don't have TikTok? Is it apparent? I worry that sometimes it's apparent that I don't have TikTok. Because I used to have TikTok, right? But I deleted it because, like, it made me sad. I feel like every time I opened my TikTok, it was like terrorism, murder, death. I was like, oh, okay. Oh. I have an account, but not the app, bro. I have like 4 accounts. Cause listen, I used TikTok back when it was Musical.ly. I was an OG. I was like 12. I don't even know if I was old enough to be on the app, but I was using it. So, never downloaded it. Whoa, that's kind of a flex, actually. In this day and age, that is a flex. Because you're a grandma, true. I should just accept it at this point. I'll just accept it. I've always been a hater of TikTok. I feel like there's a lot of good and a lot of bad that's come from TikTok, and I really can't tell which is more, the good or the bad. Gilf. That's me. I'm kind of a shilf if you think about it. Sheep. Oh, that'd just be a sylph. Sheep I'd like to fluff. Sheep I'd like to fluff. Nothing else, right? You little freaks. Insta is more niche. Wait, kind of real. But Instagram Reels. That was a pun. Call me dad. I try to support Solar on TikTok, but the browser version is so ass. It doesn't register my likes. That's so lame. What the hell? Yeah, I haven't even seen the girls' TikToks because I don't have it. Well, that's okay. Yeah, I just use Instagram Reels or I use YouTube Shorts, but I kind of hate YouTube Shorts because it's like, for some reason, no matter what I do, all my YouTube Shorts brings me back to every day is K-pop. And I don't hate K-pop, but I don't care. I don't care about K-pop. I'm sorry. Arrest me. I don't care. And I just want to see other things, please. I feel like I know so much about K-pop now just from seeing all the YouTube Shorts. Yeah, call me daddy, for real. I forgot you're streaming tonight. Hi, Equi. Welcome in. Welcome. Yes, the very rare sleepy nighttime stream. Whoa. Elusive and mysterious. I'm very silly, for real. Very silly. As you're talking about this, Leary did just send a TikTok on her Discord. That's funny. That's funny. We're kind of soul linked if you think about it. Actually, Insta is too mainstream. We're going back to Red Note. You know, I'm at a very Chinese point in my life right now, so maybe it's time. You know, for the like Chinese point in my life meme to come around right now, it's kind of unfortunate timing. It's like Red Note was right there. You know what I mean? Do you think Sleepy is a gilf, yeah. She's gonna say yes. We all know Leary wants to bed me. Leary tries to court me every day. She wants to bed me so bad. She wants to swell my belly with child. Whatever she is, I'm smashing. Hell yeah, brother. Leary, would you still smash if I was a worm? Excuse me. What? What did I say? What did I say? You don't want to swallow my belly with child? Is that not appropriate to say? Did I do something wrong? Thank you for the posture check. It's going down. I'm probably at like a 6 out of 10 now, posture-wise. Get that sheep wreck out of this Christmas stream, please. I just want to make a baby. I'm at a very solar point in my life as well. We're very green. We're very, hashtag eco-friendly. We run on solar. But please tell me I'm not the only one in here who is on Mo. These nuts in your mouth? I don't want to read that. I don't want to get got, bro. You guys are so cursed together. I love every moment. Actually, you know what's so funny? I was gonna message Leary about this, but you know what? Since you're here, why don't I just talk to you directly? Leary, do you think it would be fun if we did like a Minecraft challenge, like a Skyblock or something, where like if one of us dies, both of us die, or like hardcore Minecraft, but if one of us dies, both of us die? I think that would be really fun, and I think we would kind of hate each other at the end, but also like hashtag content, and then we could have hate sex, and it'll make everything better. Yeah. I run on solar power, Loke, genuinely. How do you say that? Is it Loke, genuinely? Am I saying that correctly? I just spilled tea on myself. I'm strawberry green tea smelling now. Not the worst thing in the world. Probably better than how I smelled originally. Yes, whatever it is, do you think yes. Okay, great. I mean, I didn't think you were gonna say no, but I wanted to propose the idea. I don't know how that works or how to go about putting together like a server that has a plugin that would do that, but like, it can't be that hard, you know? Maybe there's even like a server out there already that we could do that with. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to say it. It sounds funny though. Hell yeah. Alright, I'll just make it up then. I'll just make it up. Flow low? Flow glow? Hololive flow glow? We should probably get to reading a story, shouldn't we? Wait, but I kind of want to yap a little bit more. I haven't wrapped any Christmas presents yet. I don't know why. Last year I was so on top of everything Christmas. I had everything wrapped. I had everything bought like so far in advance. And this year I literally have less people to buy for. And it's just, oh God. I'm probably not gonna wrap until tomorrow, which is the day before Christmas, bro. SMH my head. SMH my head, but at least I did get everything bought. That is the important part. And I did not go back to Target because fuck that shit. You're never gonna catch me waiting in a line of more than 100 people. Never ever. Except for maybe like for a roller coaster, but that's different. Because it's kind of hard to not have that happen if you're at like a big park. You know what I mean? Fuck that shit, but I did get the presents. and some of them are not very good. But that's okay. I got my dad this glass. It's a whiskey glass, but it also holds cigars, and I think it's kind of funny because he doesn't really drink or smoke. It's gonna be so funny. I don't think he's gonna think it's that funny. He might think it's funny. It's a glass that literally has a cutout to hold a cigar. It's so fucking awesome. But like, it's kind of like, it's like a joke gift, you know? I got him other stuff too. Because his birthday is on the 24th, so yeah, I gotta get him a couple of things. Birthday and Christmas. I'm so poor right now, guys. It's not even funny. I checked my bank account before stream. Let's be hoping that my family members give me some Christmas money, cause yet. I'm gonna be fucking eating the bark off the trees outside for the next week until I get paid on Friday. Sleepy, give him a vape. Actually, one time I came home from school and I went into my dad's like office area place where he has his desk, and on his desk was like a weed cartridge, but it was empty. And like, I know what they look like, and I was like, Dad, what? you be smoking the juana? Smoking the devil's lettuce? Smoking the Mary Jane? And you know, he turned to me and he was like, no, I found this on the ground and I didn't know what it was, so I picked it up and brought it home. What? Hello? Who does that? That's gross. I was like, Dad, what? Do you know what that is? And I told him, and I was like, you need to throw that away. What if there's AIDS on that thing? You don't know that? There could be AIDS on it. Put it down. $67 in that bank account. More like 67 cents, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god. I could dip into my savings, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Never too late to start smoking and drinking. True. True. Who's Mary Jane and why are you thinking of other women? It's no one, darling. But please don't go through my phone. You might find out about my 3 other wives. It should have been me. Life hack, sell your used socks to a 67-year-old man for $67. If I'm selling you my used socks, you bet your ass it's gonna be for more than $67. Try $6,700. I'm making bank. I'm making bank. You have more survival instincts than your father, it seems. Yeah, I guess so. There was another time when I was in a McDonald's parking lot with him, and it was like genuinely a fucking drug needle on the ground. I don't know what drugs you do with needles, but there was one of them on the ground, and he goes to pick it up, and I was like, stop. What are you doing? Don't touch that. I feel like I have to parent him. A weed needle, yeah. I'm injecting the weed into my veins. I love drugs and needles. Yeah, but oh my god. That man, he has no survival instinct, which is crazy because he was in the military for 70 years. You would think he would know how to like live. I guess not. I have like $2.87 some belly lint. Give him an AIDS testing kit for Christmas. I don't know if I want to know the answer to that question. I'd rather just stay blissfully unaware. I'm hosting a Christmas party for my D&D party right after Christmas, and until they pay me back for dinner, I bought I too shall be broke AF, yeah. I feel you. I hope your party is fun, though. That sounds exciting. I don't have any real-life friends. So... it kind of seems sad, but low-key it's kind of true. But it's okay, because I have solar. Woohoo! No, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Please don't feel bad. I have friends. I just don't really talk to them. I'm really bad at responding to people. And also, I had some really questionable friends that I recently broke contact with, so it's a little more lonely this year, but that's okay. I'm not lonely. I have my cat. I just need to like make more friends, but it's hard. It's hard, but it's okay. I'll figure it out. I'm not like feeling down about it or anything. And I'm seeing family, so it'll all be good. It'll all be good. I got $5 in my account after I did all my shopping today. I get paid the 2nd of January, yeah. Ugh. I get paid on Friday, so luckily a little sooner than that. Thank goodness. You have us worst online friends, but hey, it's something. No, it's okay. I love having you guys, and I have solar, and I have my family, and I have my cat, and I have a couple friends. So we good. Yeah, Fern will keep me company. She's a good cat, except for when she shits, and then she doesn't wipe. And she gets shit all over her ass, and then she brings her shitty ass to me. And she starts to put her shitty ass on me. It's not cool, man. Okay, I should probably read now, yeah? It's been long enough. All right. So the first story that I have prepared for you today is called The Gift of the Magi. I don't really know why this story is called this because only one single part of the story relates to that at all, and it barely relates to the story in the first place. But this is a cute little Christmas time story, and I'm gonna read it to you. It's 6 pages long, but the text is kind of big, so it's okay. Definitely not the longest story we may be reading tonight. Let me turn down the music just a tad. How is it? Is the music good, or should I turn it down? Aww. Oh, that was off. I feel like that's probably too quiet. Okay, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. All right. The Gift of the Magi. $1.87. That was all. She had put it aside, 1 cent and then another, in her careful buying of meat and other food. Della counted it 3 times, $1.87, and the next day would be Christmas. There was nothing to do but fall on the bed and cry, so Della did it. While the lady of the home is slowly growing quieter, we can look at the home. Furnished rooms at a cost of $8 a week. There is little more to say about it. In the hall below, there was a letterbox too small to hold a letter. There was an electric bell, but it could not make a sound. Also, there was a name beside the door. Mr. James Dillingham Young. When the name was placed there, Mr. James Dillingham Young was being paid $30 a week. Now, when he was being paid only $20, the name seemed too long and important. It should perhaps have been Mr. James D. Young, but when Mr. James Dillingham Young entered the furnished rooms, his name became very short indeed. Mrs. James Dillingham Young put her arms warmly around him and called him Jim. You've already met her. She is Della. Della finished her crying and cleaned the marks of it from her face. She stood by the window and looked out with no interest. Tomorrow would be Christmas Day, and she had only $1.87 with which to buy Jim a gift. Procrastinating like me, I see. She had put aside as much as she could for months with this result. $20 a week is not much. Everything had cost more than she had expected. It was always like that. Only $1.87 to buy a gift for Jim. Her Jim. She had many, many happy hours planning something nice for him. Something nearly good enough. Something almost worth the honor of belonging to Jim. There was a looking glass between the windows of the room. Perhaps you have seen the kind of looking glass that is placed in $8 furnished rooms. It was very narrow. A person could only see a little bit of himself at a time. However, if he was very thin and moved very quickly, he might be able to get a good view of himself. Della, being quite thin, had mastered this art. Suddenly, she turned from the window and stood before the glass. Her eyes were shining brightly, but her face had lost its color. Quickly, she pulled down her hair and let it fall to its complete length. The James Dillingham Youngs were very proud of two things which they owned. One thing was Jim's gold watch. It had once belonged to his father, and long ago, it had belonged to his father's father. The other thing was Della's hair. If a queen had lived in the rooms near theirs, Della would have washed and dried her hair where the queen could see it. Della knew her hair was more beautiful than any queen's jewels and gifts. If a king had lived in the same house with all of his riches, Jim would have looked at his watch every time they met. Jim knew that no king had anything so valuable. So now Della's beautiful hair fell about her, shining like a falling stream of brown water. Brown water. It reached below her knee. It almost made itself into a dress for her. And then she put it up on her head again, nervously and quickly. Once she stopped for a moment and stood still while a tear or two ran down her face. She put on her old brown coat. She put on her old brown hat. With the bright light still in her eyes, she moved quickly out the door and down to the street. Where she stopped, the sign said, "Mrs. Sofroni, hair articles of all kinds." Up to the second floor, Della ran and stopped to get her breath. Mrs. Sofroni, large, too white, cold-eyed, looked at her. "Will you buy my hair?" asked Della. "I buy hair," said Mrs. Sofroni. "Take off your hat and let me look at it." Down fell the brown waterfall. $20, said Mrs. Sofroni, lifting the hair to feel its weight. "Give it to me quick," said Della. Oh, and the next 2 hours seemed to fly. She was going from one shop to another to find a gift for Jim. She found it at last. It had surely been made for Jim and no one else. Pixel, thank you for the raid. Welcome, welcome. We're reading The Gift of the Magi. I hope your stream was good. Welcome in. She found it at last. It surely had been made for Jim and no one else. There was no other like it in any of the shops, and she had looked in every shop in the city. It was a gold watch chain, very simply made. Its value was in its rich and pure material. Because it was so plain and simple, you knew that it was very valuable. All good things are like this. It was good enough for the watch. As soon as she saw it, she knew that Jim must have it. It was like him, quietness and value. Jim and the chain both had quietness and value. She paid $21 for it, and she hurried home with the chain and 87 cents. With that chain on his watch, Jim could look at the watch and learn the time anywhere he might be. Though the watch was so fine, it had never had a fine chain. He sometimes took it out and looked at it only when no one could see him do it. When Della arrived home, her mind quieted a little. She began to think more reasonably. She started to try to cover the sad marks of what she had done. Love and large-hearted giving, when added together, can leave deep marks. It is never easy to cover these marks, dear friends. Never easy. Within 40 minutes, her head looked a little better. With her short hair, she looked wonderfully like a schoolboy. She stood at the looking glass for a long time. "If Jim doesn't kill me," she said to herself, "before he looks at me a second time, he'll say I look like a girl who sings and dances for money. But what could I do? Oh, what could I do with $1.87? At 7, Jim's dinner was ready for him. Jim was never late. Della held the watch chain in her hand and sat near the door where he always entered. Then she heard his step in the hall and found her face lost color for a moment. She often said little prayers quietly about simple everyday things, and now she said, "Please God, make him think I'm still pretty." The door opened and Jim stepped in. He looked very thin, and he was not smiling. Poor fellow. He was only 22 and with a family to take care of. He needed a new coat, and he had nothing to cover his cold hands. Jim stopped inside the door. He was as quiet as a hunting dog when it is near a bird. His eyes looked strangely at Della, and there was an expression in them that she could not understand. It filled her with fear. It was not anger, nor surprise, nor anything she had been ready for. He simply looked at her with a strange expression on his face. Della went to him. "Jim, dear," she cried, "don't look at me like that. I had my hair cut off and sold it. I couldn't live through Christmas without giving you a gift. My hair will grow again. You won't care, will you? My hair grows very fast. It's Christmas, Jim. Let's be happy. You don't know what a nice, beautiful gift I got for you." "You've cut off your hair?" asked Jim slowly. He seemed to labor to understand what had happened. He seemed to feel unsure if he knew. "Cut it off and sold it," said Della. "Don't you like me now? It's me, Jim. I'm the same without my hair." Jim looked around the room. "You say your hair is gone?" he said. "You don't have to look for it," said Della. "It's sold, I tell you. Sold and gone. It's the night before Christmas. Boy, be good to me because I sold it for you. Maybe the hairs of my head could be counted," she said. "But no one could ever count my love for you. Shall we eat dinner, Jim?" Jim put his arms around Della. "For 10 seconds, let us look in another direction. $8 a week or $1 million a year, how different are they? Someone may give you an answer, but it will be wrong. The Magi brought valuable gifts, but that was not among them. My meaning will be explained soon." From inside the coat, Jim took something else tied in paper. He threw it upon the table. "I want you to understand me, Del," he said. "Nothing like a haircut could make me love you any less. But if you'll open that, you may know what I felt when I came in." White fingers pulled off the paper, and then a cry of joy, and then a change to tears. For there lay the combs. The combs that Della had seen in a shop window and loved for a long time. Beautiful combs with jewels, perfect for her beautiful hair. She had known they cost too much for her to buy them. She had looked at them without the least of hope owning them. And now they were hers. But her hair was gone. But she held them to her heart, and at last was able to look up and say, "My hair grows so fast, Jim." And then she jumped up and cried, "Oh, oh!" Jim had not seen his beautiful gift yet. She held it out to him in her open hand. The gold seemed to shine softly, as if with her own warm and loving spirit. "Isn't it perfect, Jim? I hunted all over town to find it." "You'll have to look at your watch 100 times a day now. Give me your watch. I want to see how they look together." Jim sat down and smiled. "Della," he said, "let's put our Christmas gifts away and keep them a while. They're too nice to use now. I sold the watch to get the money to buy the combs. And now I think we should have our dinner." The Magi, as you know, were wise men, wonderfully wise men, who brought gifts to the newborn Christ child. Oh, it's getting a little religious in here, sorry. They were the first to give Christmas gifts. Being wise, their gifts were doubtless wise ones. And here I have told you the story of 2 children, who were not wise. Each sold the most valuable thing he owned in order to buy a gift for the other. But let me speak a last word of the wise of these days. Of all who give gifts, these 2 were the most wise. Of all who give and receive gifts, such as they are the most wise. What? Everywhere they are the wise ones. They are the Magi. I don't really know what the end means, but isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? They bought each other gifts, but then they sold the things that they bought each other the gifts for. Yeah, I don't know what the end was there, but we don't have to think about that. We don't have to think about this part. Yeah, shout out to Jesus. Also, thank you so much, Pixel. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. Also, I didn't know that there was vocals on this song. Let me restart this playlist. I thought I knew this story. Was it different than you remember? I'm jamming. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That was the first story. The first story. Alright, the next story is... It's a very short, very, very short story. It is a little poem, kind of. Almost. This is called A Visit from St. Nicholas by Clement Clarke Moore. Wait, let me situate myself. Let me get a sippy. Just seem familiar? I see, I see. It's a cute story. I think that they really need to like add a bit to the end. Yeah, I turned off TTS, I'm sorry. Here, I'll read it.
Yay, Christmas time. Eggnog it up.
Oh, thank you, Meech. Thank you. Thank you, I appreciate it. Sorry, I didn't have TTS on. TV Sleepy sitting by the fire has to be one of the cutest things I've seen. You like it? I put it together myself. Welcome in, Serica. I hope you're having a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, night time. A wonderful day. When is Sleepy TTS voice pack dropping? Bro. A TTS voice pack or like a Sleepy Vocaloid? That would be a dream. Oh my god. A Sleepy like voice pack Vocaloid thing? That would be sick. Okay. Next little story. Sleepy sheepy. Sleepy sheepy roasting on an open fire. This is A Visit from St. Nicholas. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn, there arose such a clatter. I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window, I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wandering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his courser they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed in all fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry, His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was white like the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him, in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk. And laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to Noll a good night. Yay! A very short one. That's a classic story. Quite the classic. I remember we had a book of this story at my house, and my mom would read it to me every Christmas Eve growing up. Every single one, except for when I moved out. And I really wanted to have the actual physical book here with me today. I really wanted to go home and get it, but I just didn't have time. Not enough time, but that would have been nice. It's a really nice story. One of my favorites. My favorite Christmas stories. I'm really liking this tea, though. It's really helping me get through this talking. I was going so strong in this story. I really didn't mess up at all throughout pretty much all of it until the last frickin' line, man. I feel like it always happens like that. The last frickin' line. Oh well. But yeah, it's a very nostalgic one for me. Very, very nostalgic. Smooth reader, kind of. What do you guys think? What do you think of my reading? I feel like reading out loud is so scary. I was never great at it in school, but that's not the worst, I don't think. My mom would read to me a lot when I was a child before bed. And I think that that helps me a little bit. Put some what am I trying to say? Put some expression into my voice, I guess. A little bit. Yeah, hydrate with some tea. Very delicious. I'm sure you're not that bad, stranger. You can't be. I give you a 10 out of 10. I'm better than what I can do. I appreciate it. Again, you're probably not that bad either. All right. Put some chutzpah. Exactly. Some chutzpah. That was the word. All right. Shall we move on to our last story of the evening? This is quite a long one. So, it's like 5 pages, but long pages. And then it's, we'll see how this goes. Because I didn't fully read through this beforehand. But this is an abridged version of The Christmas Carol. A Christmas Carol. This is an abridged version, so it's going to be very different than the original, but that's okay. Nothing wrong with being different. I pronunciate words too quickly and then it just becomes a jumbled mess. I feel you. I definitely think I read better when I just slow down. So I was like reminding myself before stream, I was like, please, Sleepy, do not rush through these stories. You can slow down. Which people have to learn how to understand for yeah. Yeah. But that's okay, that's okay. Let me grab some water. Hi, Sleepy. Welcome in. Welcome. Merry Christmas Eve to you. It's Christmas Eve for me right now, but Merry Christmas Eve for you. It's Christmas all the same. Listen, man, the week before and after Christmas is still Christmas, and if you disagree, then you're wrong. We're reading some cozy stories tonight. It's probably the morning for you, but we're reading Christmas stories here tonight for me. Yes, my name twin, Sleepy. I don't know why, but my voice just wants to be quick. Yeah, I feel you. I feel like I know a lot of people where that is the case. Merry Creams, Merry Chrysler, Merry Quimeth, Merry... Yeah. The Sleepy is cooler than me. I wish I could be like her. If I could write you a song to make you fall in love, I would already have you up. You're talking about the song, right? I would say we're equal amounts of cool. I'm a, you know what? Hot take. I believe in equality. I know. Hot take. It might be on a lot of people, but they can teach themselves out of it. You don't think you can? I'm sure you could. I know. It's a very hot take. Freaking arrest me. Just, I mean, get the Google Doc started already. I mean, there probably is one, but... I don't think I've wronged anybody yet, for real. Hopefully. I'm kind of scared. What if there's just a secret Google Doc being made about me that I actually don't know about? Arrest me, but make it sexy. Oh no, officer, don't arrest me. I'm worried about my experience with Sleepy Sheepy. Oh god. It's just me talking about wanting to get pregnant. Be drawn pregnant. Get boys pregnant. Huh? Sheep preg. Wanting to be the piss queen. That too. That too. A sheep of many calibers. I wear many hats as a sheep, you know? It's the Limnum Princess. Hi, Miyoto. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. Merry Chrysler. Merry early Chrysler. Sleepy, you should know by now that we're writing a Google talkie about you as we speak. We keep talking about it in chat. That's true. That's true. You want to hear like an actual real story? In high school, my quote unquote friends made a Google Doc, like an actual Google Doc, of all the reasons they hated me. But it was just a joke. It had things on there like ham sandwich. What the fuck does that mean? And it was one like, I think one time I said that I have wiggly gums. The fact that I said that is on there. So it wasn't for real. That would be really messed up if it was, though. Merry early Charles Xavier. Yeah. My favorite holiday, Charles Xavier. All right. Shall we move on to our final story? This is a long one, so I'm going to be reading for quite a while. So if I don't respond to you, I promise I don't hate you. I promise I don't hate you. Wiggly gums equals rotting teeth. You should get that checked out. I don't actually have wiggly gums. Also a joke. I'm just a little bit of a comedian. What can I say? I don't even know. I think I just was like randomly probably playing Bed Wars with them at that time. And I was probably just said it for no reason. I just be saying shit sometimes. I'm not a dentist unlike you. True. You don't be worried about my teethers. I am a licensed dental professional. Okay, let's read. Alright, this is A Christmas Carol, very abridged version, quote unquote, for public reading. Well, hopefully it's good. We'll see. Alright, here we go. Marley was dead to begin with. Old Marley was as dead as a doornail. This must be understood, or nothing wonderful can come of the story I am about to relate. Scrooge never painted out old Marley's name, though his old partner was definitely dead. The company was known as Scrooge and Marley. Sometimes people called Scrooge Scrooge, and sometimes Marley, but he answered to both names. It was all the same to him. Oh, Scrooge was a selfish old sinner, and he didn't thaw 1 degree at Christmas. One dark Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house. It was biting, foggy weather. Scrooge had a very small fire, but his clerk's poor fire was barely warm. "Merry Christmas, Uncle!" Scrooge's nephew came into the room.
"Ah," said Scrooge. "Humbug."
"Christmas a humbug, Uncle," he said. "You don't mean that."
"If I could work my will," said Scrooge indignantly.
Indignantly? Indignantly?
"Every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled with his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart."
The nephew answered, "Don't be angry, Uncle. Come for Christmas tomorrow."
"Bah, humbug."
"Why can we not be friends?" cried Scrooge's nephew. "Merry Christmas, Uncle."
"Goodbye," said Scrooge.
His nephew even stopped to wish Merry Christmas to the clerk.
"My clerk," muttered Scrooge. 15 shillings a week, and a wife and a family, talking about a Merry Christmas. Humbug."
Scrooge's nephew had let 2 other people in. They bowed to him. "Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?" said one of the gentlemen.
"Mr. Marley," Scrooge replied, "died 7 years ago this very night."
"Mr. Scrooge," said the gentleman, "a few of us are going to buy the poor some meat and drink and means of worth. What would you like to give?"
"Nothing," said Scrooge. "They can go to debtors' prisons."
"Many would rather die."
"If they would rather die," said Scrooge, "they had better do it and decrease the surplus population. Good afternoon, gentlemen."
Scrooge went back to work. Meanwhile, the fog and darkness and biting cold thickened. One cold young boy stooped down at Scrooge's keyhole to sing a Christmas carol, but at the first sound of "God bless you, Mary," Scrooge jumped up, so that the singer fled in terror, leaving the keyhole to the fog. At length, the hour of shutting up arrived. Scrooge nodded to the clerk, who instantly snuffed his candle out and put on his hat.
"You'll want all day tomorrow, I suppose," said Scrooge.
The clerk observed that it was only once a year.
"A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December," said Scrooge. "Be here all the earlier the next morning."
Scrooge went home to his gloomy house. The yard was dark, and the fog and frost hung about his house. Now, the knocker on his door was very large and ordinary, but tonight it looked like Marley's face. Marley's face. The eyes were wide open, and its grayish color made it horrible. As Scrooge looked, it became a knocker again. He did look carefully, but there was nothing behind the door, so he said, "Pooh-pooh," and closed it with a bang. He closed the door and double-locked himself in. He walked through his rooms to see that all was right and sat by the fire.
"Humbug,"
he said, and then he heard it, a clanking noise from the cellar, as if some person were dragging a heavy chain. The cellar door flew open with a booming sound, and then he heard the noise coming from up the stairs and straight towards his door.
"Humbug," said Scrooge.
It came on through the heavy door and passed into the room before his eyes. Marley. The chain Marley pulled was long and made of cash boxes, keys, padlocks, and purses. His body was transparent so that Scrooge could see the 2 buttons on his coat behind.
"What do you want with me?" said Scrooge. "Who are you?" "In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley." "Humbug, I tell you, humbug!"
At this, the spirit raised a frightful cry and shook its chain. Scrooge fell upon his knees. Asked the ghost, "Do you believe me or not?"
"I do," said Scrooge. "But I must. But why do spirits walk the earth, and why do they come to me?"
"It is required of every man," the ghost returned, "that the spirit within him should walk abroad among his fellow men, and if that spirit does not go forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death."
"You are chained," said Scrooge, trembling. "Tell me why."
"I wear the chain I forged in life," replied the ghost. I made it link by link and yard by yard, and of my own free will I wore it. Scrooge trembled more and more. Do you know, pursued the ghost, your chain was as heavy as this 7 Christmas Eves ago? You had made it longer since then.
But you were always a good man of business, Jacob, faltered Scrooge.
Business?
Cried the ghost, wringing its hands again. Mankind was my business. Kindness was my business. I am here tonight to warn you, pursued the ghost. You will be haunted by 3 spirits. I think I'd rather not, said Scrooge. The specter floated out upon the bleak, dark night. Expect the first one tomorrow, said the ghost, when the bell tolls 1. Expect the second one on the second night, at the same hour. The third upon the next night, at the last stroke of 12. When it had said these words, the specter floated out upon the bleak, dark night. The air was filled with moaning phantoms, and every one of them wore chains like Marley's ghost. They faded away. Scrooge closed the window and examined the door by which the ghost had entered. It was still as if he had double-locked with his own hands. He tried to say humbug, but stopped, and he went straight to bed and fell asleep upon the instant. When Scrooge awoke, it was dark. Chimes of a neighboring church struck the hour with a deep, melancholy 1. Light flashed up in the room, and the curtains of his bed were drawn aside, I tell you, by a hand, and Scrooge found himself face to face with the unearthly visitor who drew them. As close as I am to you now, which is not very close. So, we'll ignore that part. It was a strange figure, like a child or an old man. Its white hair hung about its neck and down its back, and yet the face had not a wrinkle in it. Its legs and feet were bare. It wore a white tunic with a shining belt. It held a branch of fresh green holly in its hand, and had its dress trimmed with summer flowers. Are you the spirit whose coming was foretold to me? Asked Scrooge. The voice was soft and gentle. I am the ghost of Christmas past. Long past? Inquired Scrooge. No, your past. It put out its strong hand and clasped him gently by the arm. Rise and walk with me. They passed through the wall and stood upon an open country road. Now it was clear, cold, winter day, with snow upon the ground. Good heaven, said Scrooge. I was a boy in this place. He wiped away a tear and begged the ghost to lead him. You recollect the way? Inquired the spirit. Remember it, cried Scrooge. I could walk it blindfolded. They walked along the road, Scrooge recognizing every gate and tree until a little town appeared in the distance. Some shaggy ponies trotted towards them with boys upon their backs. All these boys shouted to each other merrily. Scrooge knew and named every one. These are but the shadows of things that have been, said the ghost. They do not see us. But why was he filled with gladness when he heard them tell each other Merry Christmas as they parted? What was Merry Christmas to Scrooge? What good had it ever done to him? School is not quite deserted, said the ghost. A lonely child, neglected by his friends, is still there. Scrooge knew it, and he cried. They soon approached a large house, its windows broken, and the many rooms cold and bare of food. As they went, the ghost and Scrooge, to the back of the house and a room with desks. At one of these, a lonely boy was reading near a feeble fire. Oh my goodness. Ignore my mess-ups, please. I'm gonna restart this paragraph and we're gonna pretend like it never happened. They went, the ghost and Scrooge, to the back of the house, in a room with desks. At one of these, a lonely boy was reading near a feeble fire, and Scrooge sat down beside his poor, forgotten self as he used to be. He said, "Poor boy," and cried again. "I wish," Scrooge muttered, after drying his eyes with his cuff. but it's too late now.
What is the matter? Asked the spirit.
Nothing, said Scrooge. Nothing. There was a boy singing a Christmas carol at my door last night. I should have given him something. That's all.
The ghost smiled thoughtfully and waved its hand, saying as it did so, "Let us see another Christmas." And there he was, alone again, when all the other boys had gone home for the holidays. The door opened and a little girl came darting in and put her arms about his neck. "I have come to bring you home, dear brother," said the child. "We're to be together all the Christmas long and have the merriest time in all the world." "Your sister," said the ghost, always a delicate creature, but she had a large heart.
So she had, cried Scrooge. You're right, spirit.
"She died a woman," said the ghost, "and had, I think, one child, your nephew."
Scrooge answered, Yes.
All at once, they were in a busy city. Here, too, it was Christmas time again, but it was evening and all the streets were lighted up. The ghost stopped at a warehouse door and asked Scrooge if he knew it.
I know it, said Scrooge. I was an apprentice here.
At sight of an old gentleman behind a high desk, Scrooge cried in great excitement.
Why, bless his heart, it's Fezziwig, alive again!
Scrooge's former self, now a young man, came in beside his fellow apprentice. Old Fezziwig laid down his pen and looked up at the clock. He rubbed his hands and called out in a rich voice.
No more work tonight, my boys,
said Fezziwig.
Christmas Eve! Christmas Eve! Clear away, lads!
It was done in a minute. The floor was swept, the lamps were trimmed, fuel was heaped upon the fire, and the warehouse became a snug, warm, and bright ballroom. In came a fiddler with a music book, and Mrs. Fezziwig, and 3 Mrs. Fezziwigs. In came all the young men and women employed in the business, the housemaid, the baker, the cook, the milkman. Away they all went, 20 couples at once. There were dances and games, and there was cake and roast beef and mince pies and plenty of ale. During all this time, Scrooge has acted like a man out of his wits. He enjoyed everything. Now that he remembered the ghost, he became conscious that it was looking full upon him. A small matter, said the ghost, to make these silly folks so full of gratitude.
Small, echoed Scrooge. It isn't that, spirit. He has the power to make our work a pleasure or a toil. The happiness he gives is quite as great as if it cost a fortune.
He stopped. What is the matter? Asked the ghost.
Nothing particular, said Scrooge.
Something, I think, the ghost insisted.
No, said Scrooge. No, I should like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk just now. That's all.
Scrooge and the ghost again stood in the open air. My time grows short, observed the spirit. Quick! Again, Scrooge saw himself. He was older now, but he was not alone, but sat by a pretty young girl. In her eyes there were tears. It matters little to you, she said softly. Another idol has taken my place. It is the love of money. Goodbye. May you be happy in the life you have chosen.
Spirit, cried Scrooge, show me no more. I cannot bear it. Leave me. Take me back. Haunt me no longer.
He was conscious of being exhausted and of being in his own bedroom. He had barely time to reel to bed before he sank into a deep, heavy sleep. Scrooge waited again. Now, when the bell struck 1, he saw a ghostly light coming from the next room. He shuffled to the door. A strange voice called him by his name and bade him to enter. The room was hung with holly and mistletoe, and a mighty blaze went roaring up the chimney. Heaped up like a throne were geese, pies, plum puddings, chestnuts, oranges, pears, cake, and punch. Upon this food couch there sat a jolly giant, who held a glowing torch high up to shed its light on Scrooge.
Come in, said the ghost, and know me better, man.
Scrooge entered timidly and hung his head.
I am the ghost of Christmas present, said the spirit. Look upon me.
Scrooge reverently did so. It was clothed in a green robe, bordered with white fur. Its feet were bare, and on its head it wore a holly wreath, set here and there with shining icicles.
"You have never seen the like of me before," exclaimed the spirit. "Spirit," said Scrooge, "conduct me where you will. I went forth last night, and I learnt a lesson which is working now. Tonight, if you have anything to teach me, let me profit by it. Touch my robe." Feast, fire, room, all vanished instantly, and they stood in the city streets on a snowy Christmas morning. The sky was gloomy, and yet there was an air of cheerfulness abroad like a summer day. Soon the steeples called the people to the church, and away they came, flocking through the streets in their best clothes and with their happiest faces. The good spirit led him straight to Scrooge's clerks, holding his robe. And at the door the spirit smiled and stopped to bless Bob Cratchit's dwelling. Think of that! Bob had but 15 shillings a week himself, and yet the ghost of Christmas present blessed his little house. Then up rose Mrs. Cratchit, dressed poorly in a worn dress. What has ever got your precious father, then?" said Mrs. Cratchit to the little Cratchits. "And your tiny brother, Tiny Tim?" In came Bob, the father, in his threadbare clothes, and Tiny Tim upon his shoulder. Sadly, Tiny Tim held a little crutch. "And how did little Tim behave?" asked Mrs. Cratchit. "As good as gold," said Bob. "He told me that he hoped people saw him in the church because he was a cripple, and it might be pleasant to them to remember upon Christmas Day, who made lame beggars walk and blind men see." At last the dishes were set, and grace was said. Bob said he didn't believe there ever was such a goose cooked. Mrs. Cratchit brought in the pudding like a speckled cannonball, blazing with brandy and with Christmas holly stuck to the top. A wonderful pudding. Bob proposed a toast. "Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us all." "God bless us, every one," said Tiny Tim, "the last of us all." He sat very close to his father's side upon his little stool. Bob held his withered little hand in his, as if he loved the child, and wished to keep him by his side, and dreaded that he might be taken from him. "Spirit," said Scrooge, with an interest he had never felt before, "tell me if Tiny Tim will live." "I see a vacant seat," replied the ghost, "in the corner, and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die." "No, no," said Scrooge. "Oh, no, kind spirit, say he will be spared." "If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, he will die this year," repeated the ghost. "What then? If he be like to die, he had better do it and decrease the surplus population." Scrooge hung his head, ashamed to hear his own words. "Man," said the ghost, "will you decide what men shall live, what men shall die? It may be that in the sight of heaven you are more worthless and less fit to live than millions, like this poor man's child." But now Scrooge heard his own name. "Mr. Scrooge," toasted Bob. "I'll give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast." "The founder of the feast, indeed!" cried Mrs. Cratchit, reddening. "My dear," was Bob's mild answer, "Christmas Day." "I'll drink to his health for your sake and the day's," said Mrs. Cratchit. "Not for his. Long life to him, a Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year." The children drank the toast after her, but they didn't care for it. Scrooge was the ogre of the family. The mention of his name cast a dark shadow on the party. By and by, they had a song from Tiny Tim, who had a sweet little voice and sang it very well indeed. They were not a handsome family. They were not well dressed, but they were happy, grateful, pleased with one another, and contented with the time. Scrooge watched them, and especially on Tiny Tim, until the last. And now they traveled through coal miner homes, past ships on the dark sea, and everywhere they went, no matter how poor, every person hummed a Christmas tune, or had a Christmas thought. And every person, good or bad, had a kind word for another on that day. Scrooge heard a hearty laugh and recognized it as his own nephew's. He found himself inside a bright, gleaming room with the spirit standing smiling by his side. "Ha ha!" laughed Scrooge's nephew. "He said that Christmas was a humbug, as I live. He believed it too." "More shame for him, Fred," said Scrooge's niece.
He's a comical old fellow, said Scrooge's nephew, and not so pleasant as he might be. However, his offenses carry their own punishment, and I'm sorry for him, who suffers by his ill whims, himself, always. They had some music and played games, for it is good to be children sometimes, and never better than at Christmas. They all played and sang, and so did Scrooge, singing quite loud. He begged like a boy to be allowed to stay until the guests departed, but this the spirit said could not be done. Much they saw, and far they went, and everywhere the spirit left his blessing. It was a long night, and Scrooge noticed that the ghost grew older, and he noticed that his hair was gray. Are spirits' lives so short? Asked Scrooge. My life upon this globe is very brief, replied the ghost. It ends tonight at midnight. Hark, the time is drawing near. The bell struck at 12, and the spirit disappeared. As the last stroke ceased to vibrate, he remembered the prediction of old Jacob Marley, and lifting up to his eyes, beheld a solemn phantom, draped and hooded, coming like a mist along the ground towards him. Hi, welcome in, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Welcome in. Thank you for the raid, Moby. Hi. I'm reading some Christmas stories tonight. I hope your stream was very, very good. Thank you so much for the raid. You can eat me. That's okay. I'll allow it. You can have a little nibble. We're reading A Christmas Carol. Yeah. We just got to the part where the third ghost is coming. The third spirit of Christmas. Thank you so much for the raid, Moby. I hope you had a great stream. If you have to raid and run, I understand. Get lots of food, get lots of rest, get lots of good times. Merry Quimmix! Thank you for the raid. Yes, the ghost of Quimmix future. That's where we are. You actually came at a good time. We're right at the end of a page. Let's continue. The phantom approached in a deep black garment, which left nothing of it visible save one bony hand. I am the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come, said Scrooge. What? Huh? Wait, let me take that back. I am in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come, said Scrooge. You're about to show me the shadows of things that will happen. Is that so, spirit? Scrooge's legs trembled beneath him. Ghost of the future, he exclaimed. I fear you more than any specter I have seen, but I know your purpose is to do me good, and I am prepared to bear you company, and do it with a thankful heart. Will you not speak to me? It gave him no reply. The hand was pointed straight ahead. Lead on, said Scrooge. Lead on. The night is precious time to me, I know. Lead on, spirit. The phantom moved away. They were in the heart of the city, amongst the merchants who hurried up and down and chinked the money in their pockets, as Scrooge had seen them often. The spirit stopped beside one little knot of businessmen, pointing to them. Scrooge advanced to listen to their talk. No, said a great fat man with a monstrous chin. I don't know much about it. I only know he's dead. When did he die? Inquired another. Last night, I believe. What has he done with his money? I haven't heard, said the man with the large chin, yawning. It's likely to be a very cheap funeral, for I don't know anybody to go to it. I don't mind going if a lunch is provided, laughed one of the gentlemen. Scrooge knew the men, and looked towards the spirit for an explanation. Scrooge fancied that the unseen eyes were looking at him closely. It made him shudder and feel very cold. They went into a dirty part of town where the shops and houses reeked with filth and misery. There was a shop where greasy junk was bought. Scrooge and the phantom came into the shop of Old Joe's, just as two women and a man carried bundles, laughing. The man produced his plunder first. A pencil case and a brooch were all. Old Joe added up his prices upon the wall. I know those things, Scrooge said. They're just like mine, and they're worth much more than this man is paying. Who's next? Said Joe. Mrs. Dilber was next. Sheets and towels, 2 old-fashioned silver teaspoons, a pair of sugar tongs, and a few boots. Her account was stated on the wall in the same manner. I paid 2 shillings 10 for teaspoons just like those, Scrooge objected. And now undo my bundle, Joe, said the next woman. Oh my goodness. I'm messing up. I can't speak anymore. I need a sip of my tea. And now undo my bundle, Joe, said the next woman. Joe dragged out a large and heavy roll of some dark stuff, the same fabric and color as Scrooge's bed curtains. Bed curtains, said Joe. You don't mean to say you took him down, rings and all, with him lying there dead? Yes, I do, replied the woman. Why not? His blankets, too? Asked Joe. Whose else's, do you think? Replied the woman. And that's the best shirt he had, and a fine one, too. They'd have wasted it if it hadn't been for me, putting it on him to be buried in. She laughed, but I took it off again. Scrooge looked at a shirt just like his own shirt and listened in horror. Ha ha, laughed the same woman when old Joe paid the 3 out. This is the end of it, you see. He frightened everyone away from him when he was alive to profit us when he was dead. Spirit, said Scrooge, shuddering from head to foot. I see. The case of this unhappy man might be my own. Merciful heaven, what is this? He recoiled in terror, for the scene had changed, and now he almost touched a bed, a bare, uncurtained bed, on which, beneath a ragged sheet, there lay the body of this man. He lay in the dark, empty house, with no one to say that he was kind to me in this or that. Spirit, he said, this is a fearful place. Let us go. The ghost conducted him to poor Bob Cratchit's house, and found the mother of the children seated around the fire. Very quiet, the little Cratchits were as still as statues in one corner, with Peter, who had a book before him. The mother and her daughters were sewing, but surely they were very quiet. The mother laid her work upon the table and put her hand up to her face. It must be past your father's time, she said. Peter said, shutting up his book, but I think he was walking a little slower than he used to these past few evenings, Mother. At last she said, he used to walk with Tiny Tim upon his shoulder, very fast indeed. But he was so very light to carry, and his father loved him so. There is your father at the door. She hurried out to meet him. Bob broke down all at once and cried. He couldn't help it. They drew out the fire and talked. Bob told them of the extraordinary kindness of Mr. Scrooge's nephew, whom he had scarcely seen but once. I am heartily sorry for it, Mr. Cratchit, he said, and sorry for your good wife. I am sure we shall none of us forget poor Tiny Tim, shall we? Never, father, they cried all. Spectre, said Scrooge, tell me what man that was whom he saw lying dead. The ghost of Christmas yet to come did not answer, but led him straight on until they reached an iron gate. A churchyard. Here, then, the wretched man whose name he had now to learn lay underneath the ground. The spirit stood among the graves and pointed down to one. Answer me one question, said Scrooge. Are these the shadows of the things that will be, or are they the shadows of things that may be? He followed the finger and read upon the stone of his grave his own name, Ebenezer Scrooge. The finger pointed from the grave to him and back again. No, spirit. Oh, no. No. The finger was still there. Spirit, he cried, tightly clutching at his robe. Hear me. I am not the man I was. Why show me this, if I am past all hope? For the first time, the hand appeared to shake. Good spirit, he pursued, I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach me. Oh, tell me, I may sponge away the writing on this stone. Stone. In his agony, he caught the spectral hand. The phantom's hood and dress shrunk, collapsed, and dwindled down into a bedpost. Yes, and the bedpost was his own. The bed was his own. The room was his own. Best and happiest of all, the time before him was his own. I will live in the past, the present, and the future, Scrooge repeated as he scrambled out of bed. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. O Jacob Marley, heaven and the Christmas time be praised for this. I say it on my knees, old Jacob, on my knees. His face was wet with tears. They are not torn down, cried Scrooge, holding one of his bed curtains in his arms. They are not torn down, rings and all. They are here. I am here. The shadows of the things that would have been may be dispelled. They will be. I know they will. I don't know what to do, cried Scrooge, laughing and crying in the same breath. I am as light as a feather. I am as happy as an angel. I am as merry as a schoolboy. I am as giddy as a drunken man. A Merry Christmas to everybody. A Happy New Year to all the world. He had frisked into the sitting room and was now standing there, perfectly winded. There's the door by which the ghost of Jacob Marley entered, cried Scrooge, starting off again and going around the fireplace. There's the corner where the ghost of Christmas present sat. There's the window where I saw the wandering spirits. It's all right. It's all true. It all happened. Really, for a man who had been out of practice for so many years, his laugh was a wonderful laugh. I don't know what day of the month it is, said Scrooge. I don't know how long I've been among the spirits. I don't know anything. I'm quite a baby. Never mind. I don't care. I'd rather be a baby. The churches began ringing out the lustiest peals he had ever heard. Clash, clang, hammer, ding, dong, bell. Oh, glorious, glorious. Running to the window, he opened it and put out his head. No fog, no mist, clear, bright, cold, golden sunlight. Heavenly sky, sweet, fresh air, merry bells. Oh, glorious. What's today? Cried Scrooge, calling down to a boy in Sunday clothes. Huh? Returned the boy. What is today, my fine fellow? Said Scrooge. Today? Replied the boy. Why, Christmas Day. It's Christmas Day, said Scrooge to himself. I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. They can do anything they like. Of course they can. Of course they can. Hello, fine fellow. Hello, returned the boy. Do you know the poultry shop in the next street at the corner? Scrooge inquired. I should hope I did, replied the lad. An intelligent boy, said Scrooge. A remarkable boy. Do you know whether they've sold the prize turkey that was hanging up there? Not the little prize turkey, the big one. What, the one as big as me? Returned the boy. What a delightful boy, said Scrooge. Yes, yes. It's hanging there now, replied the boy. Is it? Go and buy it. What? Exclaimed the boy. I am in earnest, said Scrooge. Go and tell them to bring it here, and then I may give them a direction where to take it. Come back with the man, and I'll give you a shilling. Come back with him in less than 5 minutes, and I'll give you half a crown. The boy was off like a shot. I'll send it to Bob Cratchit's, whispered Scrooge, rubbing his hands and splitting them with a laugh. He shan't know who sends it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim. He wrote the address somehow and went downstairs to open the street door, ready for the coming of the poulterer's man. And as he stood there, waiting for his arrival, the knocker caught his eye. I shall love it, as long as I live, cried Scrooge, patting it with his hand. It's a wonderful knocker. Here's the turkey. How are you? Merry Christmas. It was a turkey. Why is it? It just says it was a turkey. Why, it's impossible to carry that to Camden Town, said Scrooge. You must have a cab. The chuckle with which he said this, and the chuckle with which he paid for the turkey, and the chuckle with which he paid for the cab, and the chuckle with which he recompensated the boy, were only to be exceeded by the chuckle with which he sat down breathless in his chair again, and chuckled until he cried. He dressed himself in all his best, and at last got out into the streets. The people were, by this time, pouring forth, as he had seen them with the ghost of Christmas present, and Scrooge regarded everyone with a delighted smile. 3 or 4 good-humored fellows said, "Good morning, sir, a Merry Christmas to you," and Scrooge said often afterwards that out of all the happy sounds he had ever heard, those were the happiest in his ears. He had not gone far when, coming on towards him, he beheld the gentleman, who had walked into his counting house the day before. It sent a pang across his heart to think how this gentleman would look upon him when they met, but he knew that the path lay straight before him, and he took it. "My dear sir," said Scrooge, quickening his pace and taking the old gentleman by both his hands. "How do you do? I hope you succeeded yesterday. It was very kind of you. A Merry Christmas to you, sir. Allow me to ask your pardon, and will you have the goodness to allow me to give you?" Here, Scrooge whispered in his ear. "Lord bless me," cried the gentleman, as if his breath were taken away. "My dear Mr. Scrooge, are you serious?" "If you please," said Scrooge. "Not a farthing less. A great many back payments are included in it, I assure you. Will you do me that favor?" "My dear sir," said the other, shaking hands with him, "I don't know what to say." "Don't say anything, please," retorted Scrooge. "Will you come and see me?" "I will," cried the old gentleman, and it was clear that he meant to do it. "Thank you," said Scrooge. "I am much obliged to you. Thank you 50 times. Bless you." He went to church and walked about the streets and watched the people hurrying to and fro and patted children on the head and found that everything could yield him pleasure. He had never dreamed that anything could give him so much happiness. In the afternoon, he turned his steps towards his nephew's house. He passed the door a dozen times before he had the courage to go up and knock, but he made a dash and did it. "Is your master at home, my dear?" Scrooge said to the girl. "Yes, sir." "Where is he, my love?" said Scrooge. "He's in the dining room, sir, along with his mistress." "Whoa. I'll show you upstairs, if you please." "Whoa. Whoa, what?" "He knows me," said Scrooge, with his hand already on the dining room lock. "I'll go in here, my dear." "Fred," said Scrooge. "Why, bless my soul!" cried Fred. "Who's that?" "It is I, your Uncle Scrooge. I have come to dinner. Will you let me in, Fred?" "Let him in? It's a mercy he didn't shake his arm off. He was at home in 5 minutes. Nothing could be heartier. Wonderful parties, wonderful games, wonderful happiness." But he was early at the office the next morning. Oh, he was early there. If he could only be there first and catch Bob Cratchit coming in late. That was the thing he had set his heart upon. And he did it, yes, he did. The clock struck 9. No Bob. A quarter past. No Bob. He was full 18 minutes and a half behind his time. Scrooge sat with his door wide open that he might see him come into the tank. His hat was off before he opened the door. He was on his stool in a jiffy, driving away with his pen as if he were trying to overtake 9 o'clock. "Hello," growled Scrooge in his accustomed voice, as near he could feign it. "What do you mean by coming in here at this time of day?" "I'm very sorry, sir," said Bob. "I am behind my time." "You are?" repeated Scrooge. "Yes, I think you are. Step this way, sir, if you please." "It's only once a year, sir," pleaded Bob, appearing from the tank. "It shall not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir." "Now I'll tell you what, my friend," said Scrooge. "I am not going to stand this sort of thing any longer, and therefore," he continued, "and therefore, I am about to raise your salary." Bob trembled. He had a momentary idea of knocking Scrooge down, holding him and calling to the people in the court for help and a straight waistcoat. "Merry Christmas, Bob," said Scrooge with an earnestness that could not be mistaken, as he clapped him on the back. "A merrier Christmas, Bob, my good fellow, than I have given you for many a year. I'll raise your salary and endeavor to assist you and your struggling family, and we will discuss your affairs this very afternoon, Bob. Make up the fires, and buy another coal scuttle before you dot another I, Bob Cratchit." Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all, and infinitely more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, ever, he was a second father. He became as good as a friend, as good as a master, as good as a man, as the good old city knew, or any other good old city, or town, or borough in the good old world. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he let them laugh. His own heart laughed, and that was quite enough for him. He had no further meetings with spirits ever afterwards, and it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. May that be truly said of us and of all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone. Oh my God, we did it. I read all the pages. I think I kind of blacked out there in the middle and I don't know what I was reading, but I did it. What did you think? Did you guys like it? That was hard. What's your hug, wizard? Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. It's good to see you here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you. I did it. I feel like I lost my footing, but I kind of got it there at the end. I came with Movies Raid. Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Sorry, I missed ya. I was a little focused. I think I fell asleep for an hour. You read so nice. I'm glad. I'm glad it could be cozy for you. I'm very glad. I liked this. This was fun. I hope we can do this again sometime. I don't do a ton of like super cozy streams like this because I'm the way I am. but maybe we can do some more soon. But that's kind of all I have for today for you guys. Yeah, Chaos Sheep for real, for real. I am the way that I am. But yeah, that's kind of all I have for today. Just reading some nice Christmas stories. I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow or on Thursday. I'm going to be spending time with family. It is Papa Sheep's birthday tomorrow, so please do wish him a very happy birthday. And Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas and Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah. All of the holidays. Happy holidays. Merry Chrysler. Merry Chrysler. Merry Christmas. Thank you guys for being here. I'm going to be back again this week on Friday. We're going to be doing some Minecraft. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. And then we'll have some fun stuff. We're just going to be kind of going as normal until the new year. And then 2026, we're really going to pick up speed. I'm going to try to be streaming a lot more for longer and put out more content. And it's going to be amazing. Who up marrying their Chrysler? Me, brother. So thank you so much for coming today. Let's find someone to raid into. Let's see. I never stream at this time anymore. I don't even know who's live. Who goes live now? Ooh, actually, you know who we're gonna raid into? We're gonna raid into Aussie Gaming. Aussie is friends with Booga and Leary and is really cool and has been very supportive of my friends. So he's a cool guy. Cool guy to me. Cheese. Let me start that raid. I think he's playing Elden Ring? I don't know. Thank you for being here. I love you so much, and I will see you again on Friday, okay? If you want to find me when I'm not streaming, I am on Discord, I am on Twitch, nope, I'm on Twitter, and I am on YouTube. I'm on all the things, so come say hi. I love you so much, and I'll miss you, and I'll see you on Friday, okay? Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! I hope you get all your presents and spend time with your family and have very happy, jolly times. Merry Christmas. I love you.